another one.
I love these things, man. I really like these Valaverse figures. I hear a lot of figure collectors talk about um, how like companies like Hasbro are leaning away from weapons and guns and things like that. Well, mostly guns. They don't want to. They're more so using the design of Nerf guns than they are using the design of actual real guns. Not like Valaverse. Valaverse is 100% a military action figure line, and they are using guns. Guns that I don't know the name of, but they look like they will put a plastic hole through a little plastic person. Uh, but with that being said, it I the if you're trying to lean away from guns, it would only make sense to me that you would add something that would give your figures more expression. And like I said, facial expressions are one thing, but it's static. It's very static. Once you pop that head on that figure, the moment in time where action figures was something that was going to be in my life for the rest of my life, and I knew it. Like there was no denying it. When I was younger, my mom, my dad, they introduced me to action figures. I mean, they're probably like 12-inch. I remember being younger and having an Incredible Hulk 12-inch figure and having a Shazam 12-inch figure. This one moment in time that sticks out to me was a moment. If anyone remembers Zayre's, it was a department store in Chicago. Chicago people will know. If you weren't from Chicago, you might know. I think it was a Midwest thing. I don't think it was really something that was coast to coast. But it was kind of like a Sears, but not quite. It would be in malls in your city or something, like local malls in your city. Maybe not something. Well, back then, there's no telling. It was probably everywhere. But I remember going there with my two great aunts. The great aunt that introduced me to comic books, more or less, and where I discovered. I mean, I want to say I discovered comic. My eyes were open to comic books when I was living with her, and her sisters. One being my grandmother, and the other sister being my other great aunt. And it was a grand opening of a Zayre's department store. Big grand opening, brand new place. I mean, man, it was pandemonium in that place. I mean, it was crazy. It was tons of people. All I remember is being in the toy section and watching kids destroy the toy section. I mean, there were toys everywhere. Figures, packages were open. All the card back packages were just open and tossed everywhere. There was no. I mean, this is 88. I mean, like, there was no video cameras. No, they weren't checking for, and it was too many people. It was just too many people. I mean, if there was security, they were watching other things. They weren't watching the toys. The patients was running the asylum. There was nothing. I mean, everything was on the floor except like stuff that little boys didn't want. And it was a boy. But I remember leaving. We had to go. I believe I was allowed to get 2 toys that we paid for at the register. I remember standing in a long line. I just remember people all over the place, and kids running, and it was just, like I said, it was crazy in there. And I remember going back to the car, and I remember being super excited about the 2 figures. I don't even remember what figures it was. This was a time where action figures were, you could have got, if it was on television, if it was a cartoon on television, it was being sold in the store. My great aunt started the car. My grandmother turned around and looked at me and, like, I guess she like asked, she said something. I don't remember what she said. Like, I mean, I was focused on the action figures. And before I knew it, she had just opened up her purse and just dumped, 20 figures, just dumped them. I'm sitting in the back seat like, hey, she just, I mean, it was Christmas. It was Christmas. At that point, it was done. I had no idea of half the figures. I probably knew half of what I had, and the rest I had no idea. I didn't, because it was in no packaging. She just literally just started picking stuff off the floor and putting it in her purse. Like, this stuff, I mean, I don't blame her. Like, I'm not trying to incriminate my grandmother. I'm not trying to say she was a criminal or nothing like that. But I don't blame her. That stuff was going to go in a bin and probably be sold for $1. All that stuff was probably, at that point in time, $5 was some money. All that stuff was probably between $5 and $8. I don't know. But at that point, they were all damaged. Everything had been destroyed. They were going to go in a bin, or they were going to be put somewhere, or some poor slob was going to have to repackage them. Whatever the case, 8-year-old me did not care. She just dumped those things on me. That was the greatest day of my life. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it. I felt great. I was happy. I didn't care where they came from. For all I knew, she had a magical purse that just teleported toys from the store to her bag and then out into my lap. That's fine. That was just as good as explanation as anything else for me. And that was a great day. After that, I'm still at it. I have yet to find a place where toys are just being spilled on me. I've yet to recreate that portion of my life. But with pre-orders and things like that, sometimes it feels like a mad dash. If anybody that tries to get pre-orders, 6-inch G.I. Joe classified Hasbro people, where you guys at? Stand up. I mean, I tried to pre-order the other day. I tried to pre-order some brand new figures that they announced for the G.I. Joe 40th anniversary during their live event. And, I mean, it was a struggle. I've never considered myself needing to work hard on the internet. But it was a struggle to get these figures in my cart and then get them pre-ordered, to be able to hit process payment information. It's nuts how that is. And if you can't do that, then you're left in this limbo of dealing with secondary third party sales. I mean, you're stuck dealing with things like eBay. And eBay is great, but it's abused. It's greatly abused. And a lot of times when you think this is all you have left and there's nothing else that you can do in order to deal with FOMO, well, you spend what you have to spend to get what you feel like you need to have. And when it comes down to being a collector of anything, everybody spends some money. Just these big elaborate games that come with these small figurines that people paint and this and that and collect and pay obnoxious prices. He loves it. You can see the passion, man. He couldn't stop talking about it. And that's, I respect that energy more than I respect the figures themselves. Actually, I mean, I love the figures and everything, and that's my thing. But when I see that energy, and I mean, that's this whole the community thing. That's what it is for me. The energy, people. It's just you see people light up when they're able to. You see people light up when they're able to discuss something that's been a joy for them for so many years. This guy was in the Navy. He was a military guy. I mean, like, and here we are in a Walgreens talking about action figures and little figurines. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. But with that being said, don't get ripped off by these second party places or the third party. It's like the secondary market, like eBay and stuff like that. Reach out to those people. Try to haggle them a little bit. Don't just let them get you for $500 for one figure or something because you're under the impression that this is the only out. Like you'll never see it again. A lot of smart collectors will tell you, hey, don't worry about it. This thing will be reused. They will resell it. They will redesign it and bring it out all over again. But some people do want that initial, like this guy here. Like I didn't even know about this figure here until I went on eBay. I got both of these guys off eBay, and it was expensive. And then just recently, he's on Big Bad Toy Store for not a fraction. I mean, he's still pretty expensive, but it's an exclusive figure, so that I mean, there's that. I mean, a little exclusivity is going to cost you a little bit extra, but regardless, he's on Big Bad Toy Store. I could have still got him if I'd have been patient, but there's no way to know. You're not gonna know if and when something's going to come back. You just know that it'll probably come back. But with that being said, be safe out there, be careful out there, enjoy what you do. Vlog it, post it, talk about it, get out there in the open, stand on the soapbox and have conversation about what you love, man, because it's not what you're doing may seem uninteresting to you because you don't know a lot of people in your circle or around you that's into it, but trust me, there's a lot of people out here that want to know about your passions and that feel like they want to hear about other people who think like in a like-minded way like them. So,